Hello, everybody. I have a word that I got midday, and I think it's very impactful and very powerful, and you don't want to miss it. Joseph, when Jermaine done, come put y'all food on the table. Okay. So we have a couple of places that we're going to be in the Bible. I think I'm going to open it up in Genesis, and then I'm going to work my way back. I'm going to try not to make it too long, but I just want you all to feel where God is aiming at this season, because there's a separation that is happening in the spiritual realm, and it's the wheat from the tares, it's the real from the fake, it's the superficial versus the real, and we're rocking and we're rolling with God, and he's just been giving me so much today. I just was writing everywhere I went. I just had to grab notepads and paper, and I was just writing things down all day long. So I think I want to start in Genesis, and I'm going to just give you a couple of scriptures that was given to me, and then we're going to jump over to Isaiah and then to John, and then I'm going to do a summation on everything that he said. So we're going to be in Genesis 18. Let me find my book. Hold on. Genesis 18 and 14. And in Genesis 18 and 14, hi everybody, Genesis and 18 and 14, we're entering into a text of, Joseph, get the food. We're entering into a text where the impossible is made possible. And in Genesis 18, it simply says this, 18 and 14. It says, is there anything too hard for the Lord? And I want to go up a little bit to 13. So Genesis 18 and 13, and it says this. And the Lord said to Abraham, why did Sarah laugh, saying, shall I bear a child since I am old? Is there anything too hard for the Lord? At the appointed time, I will return to you according to the time of life, and Sarah shall have a son. There was a laugh given when the impossible was spoken, because it seems as if it's so far off. It seems like it's so far-fetched. And if you have never seen the impossible happen, how can you perceive that the impossible is going to happen? Because you haven't ever seen it done. So when someone tells you that something outlandish is about to happen to you, it's hard for you to perceive it because you've never seen it done. No one in your family has ever seen it done at all. It's truly impossible until we put the I am in it. It wasn't a miracle done until the I am got in it. So a lot of times people have a reservation towards the miracles being spoken, the impossible being done, because they have not seen it yet. And God is saying that I am in the impossible. That is where you will find God. So when we enter into the text in Genesis 18 and 14, you hear Sarah laughing, because how in her old age, when her wound had been closed and no babies have ever came through her canal in all of her years of living, how in this old age is she able to birth a baby out of that womb? I'll tell you. It is possible with God. With man, it is impossible. But with God, it is possible. We have to put the I am in impossible situations. There is a laughter associated with the unbelief of a thing. If someone tells you right now that you're going to be the next millionaire, you're going to hear them, but you're not going to internalize it. You want to have crazy faith, but if you have not seen that crazy faith be manifested in real life, in any parts of your life, you hear it, but it's hard for you to perceive it because you haven't seen it yet. God is about to bring something into real life form because you need to see and believe and perceive it. Get ready for the impossible to happen and to receive and perceive the impossible. Now we're going to go over to Isaiah and 60 really quick. Y'all be quiet. Come eat. So when we enter into the text of Isaiah, we enter into a time being happened. Mari, Scott, come eat. Okay. So we enter into a text where a time is about to come. So in Isaiah 60:1, and I'm going to go a little bit down to 1 and a little bit of 3. 1, 2, and a little bit of 3. We're going to enter into a text. Cut that down, Doodle. And it says, arise, shine, for your light has come, and the glory of the Lord has risen upon you. For behold, the darkness shall cover the earth, and the deep darkness the people. But the Lord will arise and over you, and his glory will be seen upon you. Arise and shine. There is a darkness in the deep that is about to happen. Whether you like it or not, whether you believe it or not, it is not going to stop God from doing what his word says. Nothing supersedes his word. There is a darkness coming. Jesus says, I'm not coming back for peace. I don't know why people think it's a kumbaya God that is coming back. He's coming back for war. There is a time for everything in Ecclesiastes 3. There's a time for everything. And your time has come. The time has come. It says, arise and shine, for your light has come, and the glory of the Lord has risen upon you. And that can be in many ways. Many ways. So I'm going to come over to the original text that God has given me, and that is in John 2, verses 1 through 11. So, that's Joel. I got notes everywhere. I am so sorry, y'all. I got notes everywhere. And then I need to find my original text that I had. Thank you. Okay. So in John 2, I'm going to read 1 through 11. It says this. On the third day, there was a wedding in Cana of Galilee, and the mother of Jesus was there. Now both Jesus and his disciples were invited into the wedding. And when they ran out of wine, the mother of Jesus said to him, they have no wine. Jesus said to her, woman, what does your concern have to do with me? My hour has not yet come. His mother said to the servants, whatever he says to you, do it. Now there were there's 6 water pots of stone, according to the manner of purification of the Jews, containing 20 and 30 gallons apiece. Jesus said to them, fill the water pots with water. And they filled them up to the brim. And he said to them, draw some out now and take it to the master of the feast. And they took it. When the master of the feast had tasted the water that was made wine and did not know where it came from, but the servants who had drawn out the water knew, the master of the feast called the bridegroom and said to him, every man at the beginning sets out good wine, and when the guests have well drunk, then the inferior. You have kept the good wine until now. The beginning of the signs of Jesus did in Canaan of Galilee, and he manifested his glory, and his disciples believed him. So in this text, we're seeing 2 things happen. Really 3. We're seeing Jesus in a new light because his time had come. We go back to Isaiah 60:1, which is arise and shine, for your light has come. Jesus is saying that his time is not yet. But Mary knew Jesus's potential. I want to go back to my original writing that God gave me that entered into this text. He said, is there anything too big for our God? No. Shoot for the moon, but if you miss, at least you're still amongst stars. That's one of my favorite quotes. And it said, your time has now arrived. Mary knew Jesus's potential, and she knew that what he was capable of. Jesus did not think that he was ready, but God will make us ready. Ready or not, we still have to do it. There's this thing called trust. Jesus trusts in God first, and Mary, his mother, and then himself. And he did as he was instructed. It says that obedience is better than sacrifice. So he knew that if Mary, his mother, was telling him to do something, but he felt in his spirit that he might not really be ready. But he said, hold on, let me do a thing. Because if God is telling her to say this to me, I have to have the faith to believe that he's not going to harm me or not going to have me look a certain kind of way in front of these people. So I have to have the faith to know that God said it. And if God declared a thing and he decreed a thing, it is so. So now he has to have the faith in God who sent him down here to know that now is his time. See, we're thinking that we're going to know that we're ready when we're really not. Somebody is going to see that we're ready. See, Mary looked at her son when she heard the opportunity to show her son off, because God loves showing his children off. She knew her child was a miracle child. She knew that through him comes miracles. She looked over and she heard, because she had her ear to the floor listening for an opportunity for her son to shine. She had her ear to the ground. They said, oh, we're out of wine. She said, oh, don't worry about it. My son here. They're like, what? What? Jesus like, what they got to do with me? They just out of wine. I'm coming here to save souls. What they got to do with me? See, your gifts will make room for you and put you in front of great men. The master of the house was already that great man. So as he's sitting there just enjoying the feast with his disciples, he like, what that got to do with me? I'm over here minding my business. Woman, what does that have to do with me? Everything. Everything. Your gifts is requiring you to grow. And although he knew his purpose, he did not know his time. No man knows the time or the hour, but God does. She looked over at them like, oh, my son right here, big dog, he right here. He left me when he was 12 years old to go serve his God at the temple. That's my baby right there. Yeah, that's mine. Mom, what they got to do with me? What they just want some wine. What they got to do with me? Whatever my child says do it. He says, oh, it's showtime. Somebody about to say these words. It's showtime. He said, oh, go get them pots, fill them up to the brim, get the scoop, get the ladle, scoop it out, take it up there to the master of the house. Now the servants, they got to have trust in Jesus being who he say he is too, because essentially they saw them with the water. They filled the things up with water. And then they scoop the ladle in to get the water out. And they're looking at this clear liquid. And they're taking this clear liquid to the master of the house who can have them beheaded. And they're walking in with the faith of God with them. And they're presenting the faith to the master of the feast. So there was a lot of intricate details into Jesus' time to arise. To take invisible wine. I don't know who's crazier. Mary for saying do it. Jesus for sitting there filling it up with water. The people sitting up there taking it. It was a lot of craziness happening. But that's what's required in this next season. It's a lot of crazy faith happening. Because Mary could have been wrong. It might not have been time for Jesus. Jesus could have been wrong. He might have just served them people water. The servants that was pouring the water in there and then scooping it out and taking it to the master of the house could have been wrong. But if you got that much faith and you step out on that much faith, God ain't gonna leave you. Just like the woman crawling through the crowd, bloody for 12 years, touching the hem of his garment. He says, woman, your faith has made you whole. Just like blind Bartimaeus going through the crowd saying, Jesus, son of David, have mercy on me. Rabboni. He's out there. He's blind. He's being loud. He's being boisterous, but he saw an opportunity. And Jesus says, your faith has made you well. There's a boldness affiliated with it. What is it, baby?
Get my chicken.
2. There's a boldness affiliated with this next move. A lot of people gonna think you crazy, but a lot of people don't know your faith. There's this unwavering faith that you have. And when it's your time, can nobody turn you away. That was the beginning of Jesus doing the miracles that he's done. Simply by turning water into wine, it became the first choice wine. The master of the house said this. He says, whoa, what is this? Normally, people would put the best wine and then they'll send the last bit of wine, the wine nobody wants. After everybody's intoxicated, they'll bring that. He says, but you saved the best for last. Come on. You saved the best for last. I want you to sit with that. That the best was saved for last. In the Bible, it says what's first should be last and what's last should be first. Sit with that. Put it in your back pocket. God is about to make you ready. Arise and shine, for your light has come. Aim high, shoot high, reach high. My dear darling, you are a shooting star, traveling, leaving stardust behind. It is showtime now. Prepare for the mission ahead, the journey ahead. God is about to make you ready. It is bigger than you. I keep hearing, this little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. You're about to be a lighthouse. My prayer for you tonight is that God prepares you. That he prepares you for the journey. That he prunes you for the journey. So you don't take anybody that's not supposed to be with you. If people got to walk out of your life, let them do it right here and right now. We are not carrying dead weight into the next season because the mission is bigger than you. That God uses you in a way that gets the glory to the kingdom, that brings it all back to God, because they're not following you. They're not following me. They're following Yahweh. That God elevates you in the presence of your enemies. Psalms 23:5. That God prepares the table before you in the presence of your enemies, because so many people have been counting you out. And that your light shines from city to city, state to state, providence to providence, country to country. That you be a lighthouse for the unbelievers, for the wayward child, for the prodigal son, for the lost in spirit, for the lowly souls. That you be a lighthouse for all to see. And that wherever you go, my darling, stardust follows. The time is now. The time is now. Jesus didn't think that he was ready, but God knew he was. My prayer is simply, Lord, make us ready. Lord, make us ready. I pray that this message is received. I pray that you go back, and I'm going to post this, and you just sit with it tonight. Because God is separating the wheat from the tares. And it is time for you to go higher. Shine your light for all to see. I love you all, and y'all have a good night.